Hey guys, I'm Sebastian, host of Ninth Island Connection, your weekly resource for all things Vegas. Check out the description below so that you can see how you can watch our television show. That's right, we're a television show that has a YouTube channel. So we're a TV show first. Check out the description below so that you can see how you can watch our television show wherever you are. So if you're new to our channel, take some time to look around. We've done over 40 room tours. We've reviewed every hotel casino on the Las Vegas Strip. We've stayed pretty much on every property in Las Vegas and a couple downtown as well. We review restaurants, properties, everything Vegas. So in this video, we're gonna give you some tips to make the best of your hotel stay. First up is location. Location is very important when picking your hotel here in Vegas. You might think that you can walk from MGM all the way to the Stratosphere, and you probably can, but it's going to be a long day. So when you're looking at what property to stay at, you want to look at what you're going to be doing here in Vegas. For example, if you're in town for an event at Allegiant Stadium, you're probably going to want to be over closer to Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur, that end of the strip, maybe even MGM Grand. You're still gonna have to walk a little bit. If you're coming in for a particular show, like a lot of people do, they come to town for a Cirque show or something happening at a property, and they don't realize that they're booked at a property on the other end of the strip. So do your research, really deciding on what type of vacation you're looking to have here in Vegas before you pick your property. Now also keep in mind the time of year that you're coming. If you're coming in the winter, people don't realize that it does get really cold here in Vegas. We get winter weather. So you might want to consider a property that you don't have to leave. For example, staying at Caesar's Palace is great during the winter months because it's so big and there's so much there, as well as Bally's and Paris because the properties are connected to each other. So you're really staying at two properties for the price of one. Now let's take a look at amenities. Are you looking to spend a lot of time in your room to rest? Are you looking for jacuzzi tubs? Or are you looking for somewhere to just lay your head? That's going to be important. If you're looking at basic entry-level rooms, something at Caesar's Palace, for example, is going to be larger and much nicer than, say, the Link. So research the amenities at each particular property so that you're not disappointed once you get to the hotel. So let's talk about upgrades. I've seen people on social media saying, oh, I tried the $20 trick at Bally's and it worked. Now, depending on what you're looking for, you may not need an upgrade. For example, Bally's or now Horseshoe, those rooms are notoriously very spacious. You have a lot of space in there. So would I pay for an upgrade at somewhere like Horseshoe? Absolutely not. If I was staying at the Link that has smaller rooms and a really basic, if I can pay 20 bucks and get some more space, a little bit nicer room, absolutely. So research the property, take a look at what their basic entry-level rooms are before you think about upgrades. So let's talk about packing. If you're like me, you overpack. I used to do it all the time and I pay the price. Some of the properties that you stay at, the hotel elevators are really far from registration. For example, Caesar's Palace registration is huge and it's absolutely beautiful, but it's far from the elevators. So you'll find yourself lugging your luggage all the way through the casino floor on carpet, which we all know the wheels don't roll well. So just be aware, if you're staying somewhere like Cromwell, which I absolutely love, right by the valet, maybe 25 feet in the door is registration. Another 30 feet from registration is the hotel elevator. Absolutely love it. I can bring everything that I want to bring to Vegas. Now, if you're driving in, like a lot of people do, you may want to consider a beach cart that you can open up right there in the parking lot and throw in your water, your beer, your coffee pot, and even your luggage. That way, you're not carrying everything through the casino. We've done it before, we've seen plenty of other people do it, and it does make it much easier. Now, here are a couple ways that you can save money. Save money on little things so you have more money to gamble with. So there are a few places around town that you can get beer, water, essentials, snacks, etc. for much less than you're going to inside of the casino property. For example, over at Planet Hollywood, there's the Miracle Mile shops. One of my favorite places to go for water, beer, and snacks is the ABC store. You can get 2 liters of water for $1 each. That's right, 2 for $2. Whereas if you're in the Shopette there in Caesar's Palace, you're gonna pay about $7, $8 for a 16-ounce bottle of water. So there's also CVS, there are Walgreens on the Strip. I would definitely recommend hitting those up for the basics. Like I said, water, beer, alcohol. You're gonna save a ton of money even on snacks. Get that can of Pringles, get everything that you need, and carry it into your room. Now, if your room does not have a refrigerator, you can pick up a cheap little styrofoam cooler, a lot of different places on the Strip. Now, having stuff in the room is great for many reasons. 1, you're gonna save money. 2, the convenience. I love bringing my own coffee pot. If I'm staying on the Strip for 2 or more nights, I bring my own coffee pot so I can wake up, make coffee in the room. I don't have to stand in line and pay $7 for burnt coffee beans at Starbucks. Now, some of the fridges are already loaded. Having your own stuff in the room is really gonna ease the temptation from overpaying. Now, if you don't wanna be disturbed, I would recommend several different things. First, when you check in, opt out of housekeeping. They don't always ask you if you want housekeeping or not, so you just tell them, hey, you know what, I don't need housekeeping. With this, you're gonna wanna make sure you put a door hanger on the door, because even if you opt out of housekeeping, housekeeping doesn't always get the memo, and they'll knock on your door at 8:30 in the morning and try to come into your room. Also, put a note on the door. I've experienced many times where I've stayed in Vegas, I've opted out of housekeeping, I put the door hanger on the door, and housekeeping still knocked on the door and tried to come in. I would recommend put a big note right on the door that says, no housekeeping. That way you will ensure that they're not gonna be pounding on your door at 8:30 in the morning. Same goes for late checkout. I don't know how many times I've gotten a late checkout, noon, 1, 2 p.m., whatever the time was, and housekeeping's pounding on my door at 9 a.m. So I've learned that I want to put a note on the outside of the door that says, I have a late checkout, do not disturb. That way they don't disturb and I can sleep in and take advantage of my late checkout. Lastly, let's talk about safety. You want to make the most of your trip, you want to have a great time, and you don't want something to mess up your trip. So, not every hotel is going to have security by the elevators, and not all elevators require you to use your key to activate the buttons for the floor. And it has happened several times, not to me, but I've read about it and I've heard about it, where somebody will jump in an elevator with someone, get off on the same floor, and then rob them in their hotel room. So make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. Make sure that you have your door locked. Make sure that you use your safe for many reasons. When you're leaving your room, make sure to give the door a pull to make sure that it's locked. It's happened to me many times, especially in older properties like Flamingo, where if you let the door just kind of close on its own, it doesn't completely close. Anybody can push the door open and go on in. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we live here in Vegas. This is our hometown. We probably spend about 2.5 weeks on average every single month on the Las Vegas Strip and downtown Las Vegas. So if you have any questions, anything at all that you need, let us know. We would be happy to answer any questions about a property that you're thinking about booking, whether it's your first trip or 10th trip. If you have any questions at all, comment below. Happy to answer them. Well, that's it, guys. If this was your first time, we want to hear from you. Are you taking any of these tips? Did we miss anything? Is there anything that you would recommend to other viewers of this video? Comment below, share your experiences. We want to hear from you. We're always looking to make the best of our staycations, being that we live here. So let us know if there's something we missed. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit us up on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're Ninth Island Connection. "24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in a city that never sleeps, Ninth Island Connection will take you there. You won't want to miss a beat as we give you a sneak peek inside the biggest, best, and most outrageous hotspots, both on and off the strip. Be sure to tune in to Ninth Island Connection with Sebastian Rodriguez every week. Great people, great stories, great connections, only on Ninth Island Connection."